Welcome back. The pandemic presented major challenges across all industries and really changed the way business executives had to run their companies. Right now, we're going to look at how the world of real estate and construction was impacted. And we're pleased to be joined by Tim Gokhman, Managing Director at Newland Enterprises, and Clifton Phelps, Vice President of Business Development at JCP Construction. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being with us this afternoon. I'll start with you, Mr. Phelps. First of all, your company landed a big contract for the DNC and you had to pivot. What were you building and how did you manage to change everything up after everything kind of blew up for us here in Milwaukee?
Oh man, don't bring that up. No,
I
I
hate
think
to.
um, I, I I think once we realized that the pandemic was not going to allow us to have the DNC, I think we had to kind of get strategic with who our partners were. Look at the job backlog that we had, and try to create opportunities for projects that were here locally, and kind of expand, just not hitting Milwaukee, but hitting southeastern Wisconsin.
Yeah, it was tough for a lot of different businesses. And Tim Gokhman, now your company actually develops and manages living and commercial spaces. Now, what did you do when you could no longer show your properties to prospective tenants in person? That had to be difficult.
What's interesting is that I think pandemics and events like this accelerate uh, things that were already in process. And so for us, we had already made investments into technologies that allowed tenants to schedule showings without a leasing agent on site at whatever hour they wanted. And so that really came in handy, as well as virtual tours and multiple other technologies. And so it certainly accelerated the schedule at which we planned on deploying those technologies, but the foundation was there. So it wasn't as tough as you'd imagine.
Well, that's good to hear. And Clifton, first of all, I want to ask both of you this question. It's been a tough year for a lot of us, or a lot of changes. What was the biggest lesson that you learned over the last year in terms of your business, Clifton?
I would say planning. I would say more or less strategic planning. I think between April and May, it gave us time to actually think for ourselves, because everything we had to be to a halt once we figured out how to put employees work from home. But I think just to having a better strategic plan, a better thinking plan, figuring out, anticipating what 2021 was going to bring, and making sure that we were able to execute once everything opened. So I think it was a lesson. The overall lesson for us was just maybe to think a little deeper into the future instead of just looking straight ahead, which is something that we always strive to do. But this pandemic allowed us to do it.
Yeah, I think a lot of us had to do that. And Tim, what about you? What lessons did you learn because through the pandemic and COVID-19?
Well, number one, we have a double depreciation of our staff that were able to handle this, right? Because the residents at the beginning of the pandemic, the residents were scared, our retailers were scared, our lenders, our investors. There's a lot of questions, and so people matter. And then on top of it, I think it reinforces how important it is to have solid fundamentals in making business decisions. And so I think the testament to that is our Ascent project, the mass timber project going up downtown. If the fundamentals are strong, you'll be able to execute it even if the times get really bad. And so can't stress that enough. It always goes back to basics.
Yeah, back to basics and looking toward to the future and being prepared. I guess we all had to learn this. We appreciate you both, Tim Gokhman, Clifton Phelps, for being with us this afternoon and giving us your insight and hopefully bigger and better things for the future for all of us. Thank you very much.